What's up, you juicy bunch of Quakers? Welcome back as we're slotted in for the final game of the night. DaHanG taking on cha1n.
Let's do this. I'm ready. I'm ready for some of these NA beasts. Canada versus America going at each other.
Wow.
cha1n's going to take this one down. It's going to be GG.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I think so too. I think this is the cha1n moment.
cha1n's day?
I think it's time to go off the cha1n.
Are we going to be professionally biased? Is that what you're saying?
Well, it depends, right? It's acceptable levels of bias.
Well, at what
there's a
point?
reason behind it.
At what point is it not acceptable?
Well, probably if you just...
If I just like take off my top and I've just got this like maple
toe.
flower just like tattooed to me.
Oh, actually, imagine if I had cha1n's face and you just had the Canadian flag.
Yeah.
That'd be huge.
That would be really. Would that be too biased though, or would we look like a sort of official Canadian broadcast?
Maybe, yeah. Quake_Canada.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Let's get into the nuts and bolts of this
right.
a little bit.
We've got syrups.
Yeah, recite my favourite.
Moose. Just the one.
Name more Canadian things.
Those little hats. Not the little hats. They're quite big hats.
Lumberjacks.
No,
not
lumberjacks. What are they called? Mounties. Mounties. There you go.
Good. Now let's talk about DaHanG then. I think we covered cha1n a little bit at least. We've covered as many. We've been as like a professionally offensive as possible. Now for DaHanG, our boy here, he is at number 2 on the world rankings. This guy is an absolute beast. I think definitely throughout a couple of periods within Quake Champions, I've regarded him as one of the strongest players on the planet. Whether his shape is up to it now, we are going to have to see. cha1n has got it cut out for him if he's got this wizard of Quake in front of him.
Oh, he does indeed. Like Gandalf the Grey, he's going to be coming in doing all sorts of magic tricks. I'm excited to see it. It's always fun to watch DaHanG because no matter what, he's consistently good at Quake.
Yes, and that's going to be tough for cha1n to lead into a name which is matched with that consistency. Yeah. Almost one of the unparalleled players of NA in years and years and years besides Rafa. Yeah. It is so difficult to get past this guy, and I don't think DaHanG is going to be trying to let anybody get ahead of him anytime soon. But cha1n can do it. cha1n is a rising star on the circuit. cha1n's got a lot cut out for him. He's a maverick in his own right, and he still holds the best frag in the Quake Pro League, that double midi. I'm still tantalizing from it.
It's going to be really hard for someone to top that. There's a few attempts, but I don't know if anyone's going to be taking it soon.
My tetlies are boiling, and I just,
love it.
Just thinking about it.
I should hope so. cha1n, he's had a few close encounters with some of the best of the business throughout Quake Pro League. Now going up with another one of the demigods. Of course, DaHanG, I'm expecting him to come out all guns blazing as per usual. I feel like, we know what he's got. We know he's a known quantity. Yeah. We know that he'll hit that mark.
And I actually think there is a fair chance for cha1n to take down the series. It's about getting that good start. I feel like sometimes we get to the start of a series of cha1n, first couple of minutes don't go too well, and then I get the feeling that, this is going to sort of plague the rest of his series, and he's not really going to be able to get his head into it. If he gets a good start, then suddenly smooth sailing. Yeah. The wind's going his direction, everything's beautiful, sunset on the horizon, gorgeous.
Damn right. Hopefully so. Let's check out the picks and bans, though. We'll see if that does add to our theory that we're cooking up about cha1n, the comeback kid, being able to come in strong tonight, as we do have the maps.
All right, so we've got DaHanG's map first, Ruins into cha1n's Molten, and then Blood Covenant right at the end. Like to see an Anarchy lurking around. Had a couple of them tonight now. Light champions banned everywhere. The singular light champion we played will be the Anarchy, in fact. And DaHanG being one of the old Quake 4 pros himself, he knows a thing or two about the crouch sliding.
Interesting. A little bit worrying, obviously, is the opener there. Thinking that cha1n's probably going to be able to come out strong in this series. The only thing that really does show up as a big exclamation mark, of course, is the opening Strog and Pika. DaHanG through and through, right? I mean, that's literally DaHanG to the core.
So, what would Ketchup say about this?
DaHanG is the father of Strog and Pika, and bear in mind, he's probably given birth to Strog. Bear in mind.
I mean, ever so slightly you know,
bear that in mind.
accurately. Yeah.
We're horrible people.
No, I love you, Ketchup.
Me
If you're
too.
out there, if you're watching, hiya. But yeah, the serious. Strog and Pika is really DaHanG's baby, in fairness. He's invented the playstyle of this prior to the crouch sliding coming in. And the crouch sliding coming in is just the icing on the cake for DaHanG. He just gets to apply lots of juicy things that he likes to work with. And the Galena, again, control, focus. Can you get the totems up? Yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm trying to say. He's got to have a good grip of it early on.
Yeah, he really does indeed. Well then, only time will tell how this series is going to go. I am excited though, and I feel like, honestly, there is an opportunity for cha1n here.
An opportunity.
Yeah,
Exactly.
That's all you need. You know, you don't need a 3-0. You need a 2-1.
So, I mean, if you're going to go for the win, why not go for
full
the
3-0?
Yeah, exactly. Why would you aim for 2-on? I really hope I 2-1 this player today. Rafa will never say that.
No.
He's never going to go in saying, yeah, I'm happy with a 2-1. He's got to go for the 3-0. Do you aspire for mediocrity, Jackie? I think we're undercovering a few sort of sensitivities here.
If
in
you
your
aim
psyche.
low, you never disappoint yourself.
That's what my teacher told me.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, don't get ahead of yourself. Just do what you can.
No, don't run before you can walk.
Yeah. Don't cycle before you can surfboard.
No one's ever said that to me.
That's where we've gone wrong. That's where things have gone awfully wrong.
Well, maybe cha1n needs to run before he walks in this match, though.
Probably.
Because I think it's going to start pretty heavy. Pressure's going to be applied early on. And if he's keeping up, that's what's difficult when you're going up against one of the old gods is that when it gets like the 6-7 minute, they're still plugging away at the numbers in their head and being very dangerous with their positioning, their timing, and how they're attacking you. Keeping it going for the whole way. The stamina just within one map itself is essential.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Right. Well, here we go. It's time to game.
I think he was trying to get it on the actual thingy, but it's still a pretty nice little spot for a totem anyway.
So obviously key things to look out for here as we open up with cha1n being the main point of view we initiate with. As you said, he's a player that bases a lot of his advantage off of that early start. He needs a good early start to really light a fire under him.
I like that he's using the plasma and not the snowballs. The plasma looks so good on this screen. Oh my god.
The fly swatter into the Pika.
He's going to relinquish control on that heavy. And he's getting some sensible totems around. And I think DaHanG's going to realize, okay, I know what his game plan is. If he's not aggressing me, there's something that I need to be looking out for. So really, cha1n to take his time as much as possible. And maybe extend himself, exert himself when the moment's right, when he's set up his fortifications. Which is really, really soon, in fact. There's the early setup. Good rockets, in fact. He has got that big bonus of health, and there's some fantastic damage with the rockets. cha1n locking himself in frag number 1. And a clean one at that.
Yeah, that was actually really nicely done. Calling the doctor right now as he's dissected his opponent absolutely clinically. Rockets whizzing by him as he looks to reinitiate. 1 second until that Mega's going to be back up. Not taking much of a heavy hit. Snatches the Mega and gets out. He's also quicker on the drop zoom, making his way back over towards the heavy. DaHanG again falls short.
cha1n with some beastie rockets right now, hitting everything that he needs to land. Trip totes up once again. Now, at some point, DaHanG's going to have to guess that this is going on. As soon as DaHanG needs to go for the upper light, I think he's going to recognize what's happening. Very, very early on this Mega Health, though, for cha1n. Under a lot of pressure, DaHanG is eventually going to land that rail, and he's going to be able to swing by for a couple of these items now. Just rail after rail. That was locked and loaded right there with the rails.
Yeah, that was very nonchalant. That just seemed so,
yeah,
so
like,
smooth.
It's just so easy. I'm just point, click. No pressure.
Oh, here's the audio cue as well, going to drop down, be able to destroy that totem as he dives across. Again, a further rail that's going to be doing a nice little bit of damage on towards cha1n. Tries to slam him in the face with a Pika, but won't quite be able to hit him. Near miss from both of them on the rails, and now cha1n coming back into an advantage.
Oh my god! DaHanG fumbling on the side. A chance for cha1n to get a couple of these items. DaHanG doing good damage, taking him so low. Well, that's going to be another 2-point lead for cha1n. DaHanG, as he gets himself on the weaponry, is a chance for a rail shot. cha1n is fantastic with the railgun. He can get going with that too, then just being able to add that to an already strong game that he's having with rockets is going to make life super difficult for DaHanG.
Stopwatch.
Perfect timing to get the Mega as soon as it's up. 4 seconds until we have the spawn in from the Heavy. DaHanG has been very effective at being able to brute force his way in to gain control of Heavy each and every time, and that's still going to ring true. I'm surprised cha1n even actually got away alive there, Zoo.
And even so, he's still got a lot of recovering to do. Just that one totem to look out for. So, you know, where's DaHanG gone? He's up by Connector. He's going to find him. 100 collective health and armor left. Trying to come in with the pummel, was he, for a second? I don't know if I saw that incorrectly. We should have a drop here for 2 big items. It's happy days for DaHanG.
Near misses right now as he's firing off a magnitude of warning shots with a railgun, and he's not being able to punish or shut cha1n down. Eventually gets a big uppercut off the sucker punch as well as he flicks up and eliminates cha1n.
Right off the spawn, gotta respect the tri-bolt a little bit here. Mega in time, and now he can try and weave his way around over towards the heavy armor. Oh, that LG was filthy. Does get blocked for a second, but cha1n still has so little to work with. DaHanG's looking pretty stylish though with his moves.
5-minute warning.
Oh, he's been very smooth. Like, the kills he's got, you want to put him into a frag movie, you probably could quite easily.
Oh, he's dropped down. There's a rail sending him sky high,
What?
but definitely a chance for DaHanG to do more damage there. Been nice to cha1n.
Yeah, that seemed like it was served up for him.
I don't know if he hit that rocket on the totem, but to be seen. Oh, wow. Has got the peeker in a second, but he does not need it at all. And Rendezvous on mega health. He already slid himself forward like that, so he has got to watch out for angles. Oh my god, that is disgusting stuff. cha1n walks into all of it, does no damage himself, so this full control that DaHanG has just continues and continues.
And now he's living. This is true cha1n that's starting to come out. Back down over towards the heavy spawn, about a second too early. He'll be able to establish control over that. Doesn't want to mess with the timing though, just going to pick it straight back up and then begin to roam around once again. Full stack though. He's looking good here.
Just hop, skip and jump sometimes. Hop, skip, jump and slide.
Dip, duck, dodge and dive.
And cha1n, no additional pressure really, trying to get a rocket, trying to put himself in a position at least, but he's not able to land it. And the timing between the major items means that there's a very casual cycle that DaHanG can pick.
Stopwatch.
The thing is, I think with the amount of control that DaHanG has, he needs to get himself a little more from it. It's a bit of a red flag for me when you have, I don't know how many rotations cleanly he's had in a row now, 4, 5 it feels like, maybe more. And he's struggling to do damage himself even. cha1n is perpetually on 100, 100. He's trying to get those triple totems, at which point he can challenge a bit. DaHanG hasn't really found many totems recently to get rid of. It looks like he's trying to scope out a couple. Yeah, he is looking. And he has just given away the heavy armor, so there's a chance for cha1n to get into this. Phew, that was a fine angle.
Getting some very juicy shots right now.
There's the triple totem.
Stopwatch.
Yep, finally got that overstack up, and it could give him a nice benefit. Looking to hunt them, though. Going to fire on one. Smooth moves as he dives around the corner. Both of them exchanging blows. Good prediction with a pre-fire on the rockets. Dives back over towards the murder hole, down in towards heavy room, but doesn't commit. Oh, that is fantastic.
And that's already killing so much time for cha1n, who's already losing out on some of his totems. Got to get the cooldowns back up. Pick up the extra overstack. Pick up a light armor. There, he's found the next totem. Well, that extra totem's going to end, so he can't rush over to another and use the healing from it.
1 minute.
And just pushed over the wall again. The DaHanG stack is not massive, though. So one good rail from cha1n, and suddenly he can actually build a comeback, but he's got to do that within the next 20 seconds. Oh, didn't see that for a second. Okay, so right now, the DaHanG's running a little bit. Even this 175, it's a bit precarious. cha1n is loaded up with way, way more. But he can't find a foot into this. Where's that opening rail? What's that opening rocket at the feet? Going for the spam, like cha1n's movement's good, but it's just, it can't be as good. It doesn't matter how good it is. If you've got the Strog sliding around the corners, your opening needs to be from further away. Again, I love the movement from cha1n though.
It's like being really good at fun runs, but having a marathon versus Usain Bolt. You're just not going to win.
DaHanG, I think it was pretty careful for a long time in the last parts of the match.
Yeah.
He was content in control. Control kind of left him a little bit. He didn't really want to engage too much. He had done all the work he needed to beforehand, and the frags at which he got were immense, but he kind of just decided, if I don't need it, I won't do it.
Yeah. It was weird.
Doesn't matter. Why be amazing when I can be mediocre?
There you go. He knows the mantra. We've given away our secrets.
It's true, it's true. But DaHanG still has a couple of maps to be amazing.
Oh, yeah. And I definitely feel like he probably will be if he carries on like this. He's been looking damn good. As, I don't know. It just seems that you have those moments where all of a sudden DaHanG just starts doing DaHanG things.
Yeah.
And it's so hard to stop him, right?
I wasn't sure it was going to be there at the beginning because it was all about cha1n initially, taking 2 frag lead here and there. And then DaHanG just casually walks in. Looking more relaxed than I've actually seen him play in a while, actually. He seems really chilled on Ruins. We'll see if that changes as we get over to Molten, that I believe is next, where we've got the Ranger versus Anarchy, which is a sort of do-or-die type of thing for an Anarchy.
Yeah.
Again, over and over again, how important heavy control is for an Anarchy. It's very much going to be about that. And is DaHanG going to be hitting shots as cleanly as he has been here? Those nails to rails, everything. It's pretty spectacular stuff. And again, I see cha1n being very capable of taking this series here, but it's about just meeting that next level, anticipating that insanity.
Oh, yeah, which is obviously quite a hard thing to do. It's scary stuff. There's definitely a lot of fight left inside of cha1n. We saw that coming out. He looked good in quite a few of those scenarios. Also, he had a nice opening start into that game. Normally, obviously, per game, he needs a good start, but per series as well, he tends to follow suit. If he opens up nicely, you can expect a lot of that the whole way through. So I feel like this could be closer than initially you take it for on paper. I reckon there is still a fighting chance.
There is. Usually this, God, I'm going to use a horrible football analogy. It's a game of 2 halves for an Anarchy match.
It's an even playing field. Ball can go either way.
Innit? But
see that ludicrous display last night?
Unbelievable scenes. But it seems to be first half is like either Anarchy in control or out of control, and the last bit is, well, is he going to get farmed up or is he going to be able to catch up? I'm making it seem incredibly black and white, but we'll see where it goes. At the moment, cha1n's starting with the heavy spawn, which is always nice. He used his injection early on. Does need a couple of other weapons. But DaHanG already shaving away a little bit of that stack. Nice rail, though, to at least keep him afloat here in the early portions.
I see. Star.
Pops the injection very early on here, actually. He's going to get the armor. This is nice. Major stack already picked up.
It used to be a strat in the earlier days of Quake Champions where you just use the injection as much as you can as an Anarchy because of the extra health caps that you got. I don't really see people doing that now because it's only +1 per time you use it. Okay, he needs to get out of here. DaHanG chases with the Dire Orb. That suddenly got incredibly frisky. And cha1n sees himself losing that life even after he'd been challenging on the control pretty damn well. Well, I wonder if that is a bit of cha1n's strategy. Let's just see if I can bump myself up to 110 natural HP.
Yeah. You
It's,
never know.
it's a possibility. I've seen people try it before when we had 2v2, for instance. People would do it a little bit with Anarchy. But it used to be +3. And so you just pop it like right off the start.
Oh, yeah. Obviously, over time, that would be absolutely crazy with how far it would blow.
Definitely, definitely. But DaHanG is going to secure another one over at the rail area, catching cha1n around the bounce pad. Just motivating himself with some rockets at his feet.
DaHanG coming in hot right now. Scary stuff, as already he's looking like a bit of a mean machine. On the hunt as fast as possible. Use of the tri-bolt, fantastic. Lands all 3 of them. Does take a slap to the face, though, from the rail of cha1n.
Oof, oh my god, man. He's bouncing him everywhere. That orbit at the end, I mean, that was unnecessary at that point. But it got him into the position he wanted to be in super fast. Now he is so stacked. He spots DaHanG just wandering around with his gauntlet out. Oh, a chance for another rail. Almost spamming another one out. Nice little bit of half-beat strafe to get him across a little nicer. Maybe realizing now that actually Heavy's the item that's next up. Can he do a bit of damage on the exit to cha1n? A little bit of rocket damage, and that's absolutely fine, actually. He'll get the Mega regardless. DaHanG's going for so many hard rails here. The fact that he's missing them is no surprise at all, honestly. These are difficult shots. But his rockets, from a distance, have been excellent. He's gonna drop on this, I think, still. Misdirection. Sort of worked out for him. cha1n had to be wondering a little bit what Orb was going to be up to. And DaHanG will settle with approximately 100-100. Oh, missed shot, no orb. That's bad news for DaHanG, but somehow he's left alive still. cha1n barely surviving. I thought that rocket actually might have even got him.
No, I'm so surprised he actually was able to scrape through by the skin of his teeth on that one. It seemed like it was really going to be a different affair.
cha1n's got himself to 106 health, actually. He's been doing pretty well, farming up those hourglasses. This could amount to something. Another rail? Looking good. Is he going to inject again? I'd like him to. Getting up. If he can get himself to 110 plus, then that's pretty awesome.
He's taking his time. I feel like he's trying to use it as much as possible, but when it's still situational.
He's committed so far. Keep going. He's using it with the heavy, so now that he's got that extra stack, now it's time to charge in. You do lose... It looks like it's actually just 1 HP per second. But it used to be 2 HP per second you loses. Oh, the rocket on the follow-up. Rail is going to miss out, unfortunately for him. DaHanG was left with about 60 points of health. Mega is up next. And cha1n is able to dart over towards the heavy, secure everything on the map. This is difficult at the moment for DaHanG to deal with. There is a lot of stacks to work against.
Stopwatch. 5-minute warning.
5 minutes have passed here on map 2 between DaHanG and cha1n. cha1n gonna have a confrontation once again here. Both of them get a bit of a tag off with their rockets. The drop comes down from DaHanG. Tries to go for the Dire Orb in, but it was all just a bait play. cha1n fell for it and begins to back off. Whoa. He's on the roam once again as well. 5 minutes 30 has now passed. cha1n coming in hot, actually behind up the stairs, gets the drop onto DaHanG. So
Very
much
nice
damage done. Keeps himself barely alive there. The rail would have been the game changer, but DaHanG is still alive and kicking.
He's committed to this angle though. It's made it so dangerous he can't get out. If he strafed to the right on the teleporter, he still has an option for escape. But he's been found. Orb to go through him. DaHanG by the teleporter. What's the drop down? cha1n misses a crucial rail shot. And suddenly DaHanG can contest the control yet again. Oh, he goes for the nutty spam. Oh my god. cha1n barely alive from that. Pretty touch and go then. Oh no way!
The ring out!
We got it, guys!
We got one!
3 more!
It's still doable. It can still be done. It ties it up as well.
But that was immense stuff for cha1n. Timely rocket, leading into full control. And, I mean, this can go even more. Rendezvous over at the rail. You need to switch the weapon up to maybe something a little safer. Whoa, the rail's not enough anymore as those health bubbles were picked up. Then the Mega. And now DaHanG can actually contest for this heavy armor.
Although, there's still a possibility the cha1n could be able to swoop in here. Force back now, does grab the light and looks to try and reposition. Heavy comes up, Heavy gets snatched, holds the angle. If he hit the rail, it would have negated most of it. Instead, he falls short, uses the injection at just the right time. Booped him in the air. That could have been the 4th frag. So many opportunities. And finally, the kill.
cha1n has the lead. He's got what he's been looking for. And, well, we've got ourselves to basically 2.5 minutes left. And DaHanG somehow got to lock this down. He has got the orb. 5 seconds until it's up, but he's got no rockets or anything. He's looking for vertical rails. It's so difficult to work with. And finds it with the rocket at the jump. I think realizing that there's only rails coming out. If he had rockets, he'd be using them.
Impressive. Netmaster.
This is huge so far. The near misses again coming through. Instead, opts to try and switch it out to the LG. He does still have the injection to play with as well. Mega's up. Mega's going to be claimed by him as he brushes his way back over. We've just hit 8 minutes, Zoo.
DaHanG really needs the heavy. He's going to have it. Pays a small tax, though, of the rocket damage, but is otherwise okay. The rest of the, well, as many items as possible at the end have got to be DaHanG's. But he's waltzing past. The orb is really good. 56 health left for cha1n. Finds the 225s, but there's a rail on the backside. cha1n, oh, the rail! That might even be the game saver for cha1n. Had DaHanG got that, he was well and truly up for a MAC victory. Now cha1n just needs to be super evasive. It's less about being on the items. Has been found with the tri-bolt. Another rail shot. One more to get himself the kill. Well, that's a brilliant movement there. Had to get the rocket jump out, otherwise close range rail. It's been found. And it's not over yet, honestly. It's really not over yet.
1 minute warning.
But there's a lot to do on DaHanG's agenda. And he needs heavy. He has to get heavy. This is too late. And cha1n would have expected DaHanG to go to heavy already, which is why he's left it up. He's going to find him, actually. Wrong weapon to have out. He has to eventually switch to the rockets. If it was rocket first, I think DaHanG gets the kill, but cha1n just a little more prepared. It felt that DaHanG wasn't expecting him to be as close as he eventually was.
cha1n doing so much work here. He will be able to shut down this second map and walk away with it, as there just physically isn't enough time for DaHanG now. It seems like it's all said and done. He will punish, but with only 5 seconds left, really, it's just not doable.
DaHanG's going for it, but unfortunately the clock is going to be beating him here. 7-5 for cha1n. We do get ourselves a little tiebreaker here at the end of the show on our final map of the day.
It could still happen. It could still be the cha1n win, like we said.
Can be.
It could be. He got himself up to 114 natural stack as well.
114?
That was 114 at the end.
I reckon he could have popped 117.
I reckon if you would have used it consistently every time it was off cooldown, you could have got like 120.
It makes a difference though when you kind of add it together and a certain amount of armor and combinations. Like, well, all of a sudden you go from like, you know, maybe 2 rails to kill to 3 or something along those lines. And
I suppose
I
it's just getting over the threshold, isn't it? As long as you can push yourself over that 1 extra bit to give yourself a little bit more stack.
No, precisely. Well worth it. Obviously, like in longer games, if you've got like the 15-minute, 20-minute modes, etc., then it can become a lot. It can be a lot more valuable. But then you've also got to go in with the mind that I might be a bit weaker off the beginning. I still need to make sure my control's good. But if you get to the backside of the game with an extra plus 20 health, then suddenly you're this super mobile being, you know, running around with a mid-champion kind of stack, or at least close to.
Yeah.
Worth thinking about. I know there's a couple of Anarchy mains out there, but I'm sure they know the deal already. This is where DaHanG was like, oh god, I put myself in a horrible spot here. How do I get out? There it is. Can we get 3 more in the last map? What is the last map? It's Blood Covenant. I mean, it's tough ask.
Yeah.
If we get 1, let's just say we meet the quota.
Oh yeah, I reckon.
Because it's Blood Covenant, and that's a tough one to
It's a special day. It's not a normal day.
Yeah.
So we'll take it.
It's always a special day with you.
Oh, I hope so. Yeah. Crazy stuff though from cha1n coming in strong. They've split the series so far 1 map apiece, meaning that Blood Covenant is the be-all and end-all between these two.
So it is Visor of cha1n going versus the Doom of DaHanG. I mean, it's a very, very good champion on Blood Covenant having the Doom.
Yeah.
But Visor is sort of like jack of all trades everywhere. He's just a pretty solid champion overall.
Oh, yeah.
There's maybe a couple of hard counters to him, but overall, with that vision, you can make plays, and especially against a Doom, sometimes can be quite predictable, expecting, well, he's going to double jump over every single gap all the time because he can.
Yeah.
And he's probably thinking that if I keep repossessing myself over these big gaps, then it's going to mess with my opponent's mind. But a lot of the time, it can actually play into their hand because they're just expecting you to do that. A bit like, you know, an Anarchy player is usually a lunatic.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. Well then, let's see how it's going to go. It's time for the decider, the 3rd and final map of the evening here, of Week 9 of Stage 2 of the Quake Pro League. It's DaHanG tackling cha1n one final time.
Nice little accolade if you can add it to his list of an extra map. That's for cha1n, that is.
Ooh. A lot of damage done, but it's quickly being negated as he's being chipped away out massively here by cha1n.
DaHanG couldn't find that last rail. I think I might... Oh, hold on a sec. I might be wrong, but I think the only person that DaHanG has lost to that's not Raptor, I think, is Saigib. I think I'm right in saying that, so...
I think you are.
And cha1n can add himself to that list of names.
Very short list.
Yeah. It's an exclusive list.
It's like Raises Club.
Yeah. But it's a way to, like, put DaHanG down a notch. Not maliciously, but just make him feel more within your realm of comfort.
Make him feel human.
Yeah, definitely. You want to do that for Rafa too, but he actually isn't human, so that's why you can't do it.
Yeah, that would mean he would have to actually be a human and not an AI designed to play Quake.
Right.
Ooh. Wow. Okay.
Well, that's hit.
Connection.
Totes amazeballs.
His movement so far coming across from DaHanG though. He is definitely trying to keep cha1n on his toes. No mistakes made from either of these two.
DaHanG really doesn't want to give up the upper position. He still hasn't got the lightning gun. The rocket jump back up. He goes, aha, this is my spot. Ooh. And so LG is like, no, you can't even tickle me. Just out of range. But he's struggling with the rails. Finally gets a small connection off. And it's just like 2 minutes of raw rail denial. And it's like, well, I prefer to have the rail and you not than me have the LG. And you also have the rail. Down below. And I think all cha1n's trying to do is survive until there's a chance to get to the upper level and to get the rail without having to sacrifice life and limb for it. Gotta watch out for that MG. That can be a nuisance. Does hit the rail shot. That's very important for DaHanG to keep cha1n tame. There's the rocket jump. He commits. cha1n manages to get the railgun, only having received damage from himself. And now does DaHanG recognizing that the rail's taken, he's like, well, I'll go for the LG now, because my 3-minute denial of rail has come to an end. The reign of terror has been terminated. But as you can see, it's so difficult to play against someone who's got the rail. Your only option is to really play super defensive or wait for them to put themselves out of position for a brief enough moment. And in fact, cha1n is in small advantage at the moment and probably can impose himself over at the mega health.
Ooh. There's the dink as he starts to make his move across, gliding through the air. A couple of shots going to be whizzing up and landing right onto him. Nearly 4 minutes have passed here as well. Finally, a bit more of a battle between these two as they wide swing over, fighting over control of the Mega. cha1n, for once, has the advantage when it comes down to the stack as well. DaHanG pretty much balances it out as he will claim the heavy. Tri-bolt, he's normally so proficient with it. Instead, switching out to the LG, looking to make a little bit of a mockery out of him here. But actually, he's in really quite a dire spot, Zoot.
Yeah, you can see DaHanG is even cautious about, do I even go towards banana? I know there's a nice juicy light, but you know, he'd expect there to be attention to. The reality is that cha1n never actually looked at it, but if this were going versus someone like Rapid would have been straight over to like try and do some damage on it. Oh no, he's got the berserk out. He can't really hear anything, so he's just got to vacate the premises. Fortunately for him, he's managed to do so without losing life and limb, but we're closing on the halfway mark with yet to get a frag on the board. There's a lot of rocket damage.
Still not a single frag on the board. Almost 5 minutes into the game here. No one wanting to make a mistake on the decider tonight between DaHanG and cha1n. They're keeping each other at arm's length 24/7.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure on DaHanG at the moment. It felt like really DaHanG was the guy in control for the first 2.5 minutes, but since then cha1n has been excellent positionally. DaHanG's been giving a lot of respect to. Making sure he doesn't get caught off guard at these smaller items, and if it means having to run around with a lower stack for a moment longer, then he's going to have to make that sacrifice. But he does go for the drop down. So much damage. He gets the fadeaway rail somehow. That is remarkable. He's going to hug the walls as he gets the light, and actually finds that, well, his stack was well exchanged previously.
Yikes. He's just going for the heal and the blood pool. He's actually being able to make it work as well, just dancing around.
He had to get above 90 health. That was all he had to do. And he needed about 3 seconds, and he realized, oh, the likelihood of cha1n being able to attack me within then is low enough. This could be the push. cha1n has got up to 40 health. We've got to drop down to the lower areas. cha1n hits the rail, takes the lead. Can he hold on to this? Is this going to be the series for him? Another on the kill list on DaHanG.
It would be a huge storyline if another man could commit fraud against this accountant. The drop comes down, cha1n looking for a further frag, the super shotgun comes out.
Bam.
Wow.
Well in time for the heavy, that's up in 5. Missed rail. I think he's going to let it go. Feels like a hang out in the open's not for him. It was either an incredibly smart move or maybe naive move, because DaHanG now has a stack to fight with. cha1n has to make sure he can get a punishing rail in probably within the next 10 to 15 seconds. Otherwise, suddenly DaHanG becomes a massive threat for him. Huge rail, free damage, stopping him yet again. Big plays from cha1n.
Oh,
really big plays.
Wow, he's really starting to rip him to pieces now, Zoot. DaHanG left within an inch of his life there. I'm sure he started to see this entire game flashing before his eyes. cha1n going to be hungry for a third frag to give him an even bigger lead against this Team Liquid mastermind. Looks to punish. He survives on 1 HP. The tactical sight comes through. The piercing sight's going to pay off as he will crush his way through him. cha1n is coming in for a series win tonight.
He wants it. He wants it real bad. Heavy's up for somebody. DaHanG looking to attack a little bit. Oh, the jump doesn't quite hit. There's going to be a chase now. God, he cannot survive. DaHanG manages to land a thumping rocket. Oh, hello. He needs that rail too badly. 2 minutes to go. Mega up in a couple of seconds.
Has he got the confidence?
That's probably
to just go up?
catwalk next, I imagine. Oh, he needs the light armor over there, though. Which he's still going to get. And now to pressure. He's actually going to go down below. Is there going to be any pressure from cha1n over at Heavy? Looks like he's relinquishing control of it completely.
I mean, cha1n can just waste time. He can kite massively here.
But he's going to run into him. LG on a rocket finds him up in the air. There's the rail. cha1n is in a bit of trouble. He might be fired off the spawn. Mega health's up. DaHanG is piling on so much pressure so soon. I think he needs to go to the Mega Health now, otherwise he risks losing out on a major item. He's going to back out for it, and now if cha1n stays at Heavy, he can only do damage on it. But cha1n doesn't commit. No commitment at all from him. So this is the run. This is DaHanG trying to get the 2-1 for himself.
We're either going to see a sudden death or a cha1n victory in the next 50 seconds here. cha1n, he's being chased. DaHanG diving against him, swoops down like the assassin he is, looking to try and finish. Lands the rail. No matter what, we're going to sudden death, but he could still close out the game in regulation here. Another Mega Health has been picked up. There's 30 seconds, but it's a slight miss on the initiation with a rail. The chase doesn't work out too well. He takes damage. He's got to fall back. He needs the Heavy Zoot.
He's Heavy and he really needs the rail again. Big plays from DaHanG. Oh, and he's hitting another rail shot. cha1n is under a lot of pressure now. Next frag wins it, basically. Oh, he drops down. I don't think he meant to do that. But cha1n doesn't have a rail shot. Rockets send him so weak. There's no light armor down on Banana.
Sudden death.
If he swoops now, he could end.
Oh, he needs this light. He really needs this light. He's got a small semblance of security. And cha1n is late to challenge on the Heavy.
Oh no, the Tribolt connects as well, doing more damage, stripping stack off of cha1n. We're into the sudden death now. It's tied up, 3 frags apiece. Whoever gets a kill will take the victory and take the series. cha1n, could he be the second man in Quake Pro League history to take this map off of DaHanG in Stage 2? Feel the tension in the air.
It's just cha1n trying to get away. Trying to get the peak rail off. That's an important rail. That equalizes the stacks quite nicely. And now suddenly cha1n's got a better position for the Mega Health. But he's dropped off the perch. He's dropped off the perch and DaHanG's recognized this. And he's just saw him very quickly on the side. Hits another rail. cha1n now in a lot of trouble. So much trouble. He's so weak. Just a shotgun. Can he land it? He can. DaHanG shuts it down. Makes the comeback. Gets the 2-1.
Damn. Literally a single frag away from being able to get that win over DaHanG. But no, it was not meant to be. Again, a sudden death is what decides the fate between these two men.
What a climax to that series, actually. Wow. Totally wild. cha1n gave us a heroic Molten Falls. We saw a peculiar first map with DaHanG just looking chill, but at the end it was all stress everywhere. Comebacks necessary. cha1n desperate for survival. High-level plays and a high-level finish of the day.
That got my heart pumping. That's absolutely outrageous. What a game. What a game to close out the night.
That's exactly what the doctor ordered. And nice to see cha1n really bringing that level up so nicely. And DaHanG being tested, actually, against him. We have seen him lose to Saigib beforehand, but yeah, he really had to take everything out to make things work versus cha1n. But just being able to lock this down. There's so many important rails that I feel like we saw from him, and this rocket right at the end, a tight angle, and ultimately. And there's also a couple of these flicks. I think he found him up the bounce pad on a couple of occasions too. Did he chase him one more time actually up the bounce pad? I think he did, and he gets the little flick, doesn't he? Boom. Wow. And as soon as cha1n's there, it's like, how do I get out? Oh, I've taken 2 rails. Chances for survival minimal.
Yeah, it just wasn't achievable. But you got to commend him. You have to absolutely give him all the props there. The fact it was a single frag that could have decided the fate of him being the only other person to take a map off of DaHanG, to take a series off of DaHanG rather. Crazy.
Yeah,
I think got that far.
I think lots of coulda, woulda, shouldas there. I'm sure cha1n is thinking, but he should still have his head held up high.
Yeah. On the flip side of it, for DaHanG, he never misses a beat. He's still got it. Still shows that he can live up to the hype time in timeout. Absolutely smashing it again with another series win as he'll take that with 8 points.
Yeah, he's the accountant. He was just tallying up those numbers there. Saw it at the end. It's like, numbers make sense. Yeah. We're in profit.
That's an expense.
He took the rails delivered. Accounts received. I'll shut up.
Oh,
I'm done.
It was
late, guys.
wonderful stuff. I believe that we do have the updated standings as well, so we can see the world rankings and delve a little bit deeper.
Let's take a peek. Of course, Rafa's been up there the whole time, so he didn't play today. And let's have a look down below. Genic managing to get himself a few points, but obviously not getting close enough. Waz and Effortless, I believe, play next week. If Waz can get a 3-0, he's not up for relegation. We've got CNZ down on 80. Hron and Avec. I mean, there's some really, really close things going on.
Right, so you've got Nosfer and Cypher, 1 point difference between them both. Base, Saigib and Tox with, well, a point difference between all of them nearly at this point. You've also got the Vakula and Venga, again, 2 points between them both. Kilson has now overtaken DaHanG by 1 point in the rankings.
Yeah.
This is madness. Week 10 is going to be outrageous.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff happening over here. I'm still shaking from that game
yeah,
actually. That was I felt like I was playing. That was
that was a crazy sudden death.
We're
on the edge of our seats.
I think I need an ambulance.
You might. I'll have a word. We'll call one in. You'll be all right. Don't worry.
Get them through Storm Ciara.
Yeah. So the only storm that was brewing tonight, just really, really quite disgusting stuff there across the night. It's been magnificent. I feel like we've really had some treats.
Yeah, no, we've had loads of treats, some fantastic games all day. We had a couple of blowouts, but it's to be expected. They can't all be beautiful. And yeah, of course, my last official cast on the Quake Pro League. It's been a pleasure being here, and I'm looking forward to. I'll be obviously watching the games. I'll be watching you.
I hope so.
I'll be watching you.
So, mate.
Do you want to scruff your hair?
Oh. Off air. Right, yeah. You naughty boy. Wow. I mean, yeah. I think you've hit the nail on the head, right? That's it. We're done and dusted.
Absolutely.
Another installment of the Quake Pro League has been rounded out. There is one final week. You will not want to miss it. Next Saturday night will be the culmination of all of Stage 2. Keep it locked here on the Quake channel. Come back in where things are going to be absolutely outrageous. But for now, from me, from Zoot, from everyone in production here at Face It, thank you so much for tuning in. I do hope you've enjoyed yourself, and I hope that we'll see you not only next week, but in Katowice, Poland for our finals.